But yeah, the Batman sequel on shaky ground in spite of box office success. Oh, good. Earlier this year, we saw the release of The Batman, and it's safe to say that it was a massive hit with fans. Robert Pattinson's first outing as Batman offered something pretty different to the Cape Crusader's usual escapades, but its critic reviews hailed it as one of the best DC movies ever. I would say so. I agree. You know, with the over $770 million raked in worldwide box office, there's no denying its success. Despite that, though, a follow-up movie still hasn't been given the green light by Warner Bros. Variety reports. While director Matt Reeves is already working on a sequel, which would see Pattinson reprise his role, the film is still years away from release. Understandably, details on what this unconfirmed sequel would be about are pretty non-existent, but back in February, before the first film came out, Pattinson revealed he'd love to see the Court of Owls, which I'm right there with him. I would love that too in a future film. Underground organized crime group who influenced Gotham behind the scenes have been known to kidnap children and train them to be assassins, which is pretty dark. Yeah. Love to do something like Court of Owls, Pattinson told Den of Geek at the time. There are elements of the Batman which are kind of horror, and I think it really feels quite new for Batman. For now, we'll just have to sit tight and wait for any official details about it. See, this is what I'm talking about. You know, when people are saying like, "Oh, Chris, calm down." This HBO Max and Discovery thing and Warner Brothers Discovery and all these cancels. It's good. It's for the best. It's the best. It's my big concern for so long about this and the acts of David Zaslav, chat, Zumbafu, whatever his name is everything that they're not saying. Like, they had that shareholders meeting, like a week and a half ago at this point, let's say a week ago. And they talked about, the reason as to why they canceled Batgirl, even though they said it's not because of the quality of the film. And yet, and then immediately afterwards said, we only want to release films we believe in, which basically translates to, we only want to release films that we think are good, quote unquote good, all these different rumors and hearsay about Batgirl saying it was bad. I don't know. And then we're hearing rumors about all this cancellations, things like Titans, which I don't care about Titans, but I'm hearing like, oh, Doom Patrol might be canceled. I'm like, fuck, I love Doom Patrol. But it's all the things that they didn't say. They're saying like, we have a 10-year plan. This is what we're going to do. Not even saying like this is what we're going to do. This is not in terms of like what the content's going to actually look like. It all feels like, well, 10 years where we want to have something like Marvel. What are those films going to be? What are those shows going to be? And it's been nothing. They haven't said anything, and that's the concern. That's what I've been saying this entire time, is the fact that they're not giving out any details. And sure, now I'll admit this. Discovery inherited a mess. What was going on at Warner Brothers for years, chat, certainly during the 2010s, was an absolute fucking mess. You have one of the greatest properties ever created in DC. Characters like Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, Green Lantern. I mean, it's all sorts of characters who have a rich history that you can explore and adapt and put on the screen in all sorts of different, mediums and incorporating all different kinds of genres. And they fucked it up. They completely fucked it up royally. And they've been having these kind of weird, offshoots and successes, but there's no plan been put in place. And then you have Zaslav coming in, and he's like, all right, we got to trim this fat. We got to get rid of all this, and he has a reputation for this. But the thing that has concerned me is everything he has not said, the status of certain films. That's what I'm concerned about. We just don't know. And to say, like, they haven't greenlit a sequel to The Batman after it being such a huge commercial and critical success, to me, that's just kind of fucking nuts. There's no official word. That's why I even when James Gunn has said, like, Peacemaker's safe, don't worry, guys. I want to see, like, an official fucking press release from Warner Brothers that says, Warner Brothers Discovery Bros, as I call them now, that says, Peacemaker Season 2 is happening. Here's our tentative release date. I'm not going to believe anyone else till they put that shit out. And so this is a huge concern for me. Because I really liked it, because that's what I told you. It's like, everyone's like, oh, Batgirl is going to suck anyway. I'm like, even if it was going to suck, yeah, okay, whatever. You're happy about its cancellation, sure, but until they start canceling things that you really like, so that you're excited about, like something like this. And so this is when I start getting concerned. I need to have official confirmation. And they're not, and they're being very cagey, and they're playing things very close to the vest. People are saying like, oh, they're gonna do what Kevin Feige did. They're gonna, that's what they want to do. It's like, yeah, that's what they want to do. But I didn't see no fucking timeline All right, I didn't see like a Marvel Phase 5, Phase 6-esque timeline coming from Warner Brothers Discovery for their DC lineup. All right, then I'd have a little more confidence. They haven't done shit like that. So why should I then take them seriously? Why should I have confidence in this guy when the only thing he's really truly done at this point is cancel things? That's all he's done. And that's why you have these, these content creators saying like, oh, he's doing everything that's right. It's like we don't know that yet. The only way I'll start to say he's doing things right is 5 years from now. Where are we in this? I want to be in the middle point of this quote unquote 10-year plan for DC and just for everything else in general too, not just DC, but all these other properties. What's going to be the status of the Wizarding World, the Harry Potter franchise, everything else they own? Like, I don't know. What's the status of HBO Max going to be, whatever they're going to call it? I don't know. People are being too, a lot of people are being, I feel like they're taking David Zaslav at his word. And I'm like, he has given us nothing at this point that would make me trust him. So, something like this where you haven't even greenlit the fucking film? Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't trust the guy. I'll be happily eat crow. I'm happy to say, like, you know what? Yeah, they had it right and they had a plan. I'm glad they did it, but we just don't know yet. And that's why I'm so concerned. I'm going to put this up as a separate video, I feel like. I'm going to do that. So thank you for sending this my way. But, like, what the hell is going on? I don't like it, chat. I want to see this Batman series continue on because I had to spend, I'll be selfish here. I'll say we, but also myself. I had to spend 10 years watching really shitty live action Batman films. All right, the 2010s were really fucking dark time for me as a Batman fan. Watching shit like Batman v Superman and Justice League and him showing up like in the first Suicide Squad. I'm going like, Jesus Christ. It was not good. It was not good. And so I am very concerned that if they're going to kill this movie because it's not a part of what was originally part of their plan, quote unquote, their plan. And then I will absolutely include Christopher Nolan's Dark Knight Rises because that movie I don't think it's very good. I don't think it's very good at all. His heart wasn't in it. The only thing that movie contributed was negative things or unintentionally funny things. Like a brain, yes, totally insane, and all that. So I just don't. That's how I'm feeling. I'm curious to hear what other people are. Do you guys have confidence in David Zaslav? Are you concerned that they haven't greenlit a sequel to one of their most successful films in 2022? Are you concerned? I'm a little concerned, chat. Let me know. What about you guys? What about you, chat? How are you feeling? Thank you again, Chris Ayers, for the 100 biddies. Let me read your statements here. Zaslav the fucking moron, and every decision he's been making has been a bad one. Change my mind, says Chris Ayers. Very, very much staying at what he believes and thinks. 48 million, 185 is an amazing. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. Let's see here. In the house like LL Cool J, hat like a Sharks fan. Good to see him. Your fingers, Corey Bot clears, house runs WB. What? Cross your fingers. Corey Bot clears, house runs WB like a boss. I don't know what you mean. I don't like it. I don't like the sound of it. Phil, Chris said I didn't hear no fuck. I didn't hear no goddamn bell. David Zumbafu. I don't know what his name is. Zaslav Zumbafu. Here probably be HBO Max series, probably. I mean, I'm very curious what they're going to do with that franchise. I don't know. Do I look like a guy with a plan? He says he has a plan. And the thing is, the Joker did have a plan, though. He just lied about it. Bodacious. Harry Potter might as well go to universe since they living that they living that Potter money from their park. True. Alex, but I believe when I see proof. Exactly. I'm right there with you. Yes, 100%. I wish they would do Death in the Family. Would love to see Jason Todd die from the Joker. Yeah. Nico, there's a lot of material they could potentially adapt. I would love to see Jason Todd as Robin. I want to care about him first, though. Like, my whole thing is, like, I would love for them to bring Jason Todd as Robin, have him be around for a movie, and then they kill him, and he comes back as Red Hood. Make me care, Thank you, Triplers. Thank you for sending them my way. Oh, let's see here. Is bad PR on the Flash Point film? Oh, the Flash movie? Yeah, we'll see. Triplers, they don't get me going. I wrote those films off, flushing the toilet. Frankie, but Juicy, Batfleck was the best. Yeah. And the thing is, like, there could have been. I want to do a separate video one day on how Ben Affleck as Batman could have worked. because I don't think he has worked. And it's not his fault. It's not his fault. You know, when he was cast, I'm like, okay, well, that's interesting. He's a little old for the role. He's in his 50s, but all right, sure. And I don't think it worked because of how he was used. To be the Batman in your multi-decade-long, multi-spanning film franchise has never made any sense to me. Now, I think he could have made a great Batman, a standalone Batman film, or maybe a standalone Batman series, sure. And I want to talk about that one day in greater detail. I want to make some notes, Chad, to tell you how it could have worked. Exactly. We've all collectively wasted decades, even hundreds of years of our lives with these shitty movies. Hundreds of years, exactly. I'm tired of this crap, but yes. Oh no, the last great live action Batman films were the Batman and the Dark Knight, 100%. They screwed up Bane. He screwed up Bane royally. Although I love that fucking voice. Now I love it because now they use that voice for Bane with every time they put him in animation, or they refer to anytime you go, people just like, oh, Bane. That's everything I need to say of that message. Just explain Universal has the his right of first refusal, so they can refuse any MCU Hulk movie unless they get to distribute it. However, Marvel Disney is not going to let that happen, low, because they're under that clause. Universal doesn't even have to help make the film. There you go. What a lovely voice. Good to see you, Lays. How you doing? If they cancel every DC project and restart the entire universe, I think it'll hurt for a week, but I'll be fine. Yeah, listen, I mean, I would be upset if they can't. Listen, I'll be selfish right here. If they just decide to scrap, like, you know, even though I like him, like Jason Momoa as Aquaman and, you know, Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman, I'll be like, I'll get over it pretty quick, you know. But like if they just scrap like Peacemaker, I'd be like, oh, that would suck. Or the Suicide Squad-esque spinoffs they have in production or in some form of development, or the Batman. I'd be like, such potential. I'd be pretty sad about that. Or they spin. I mean, the only thing I could think of that would be kind of cool if they decide to do this, if they decide to start a new cinematic universe, but they start with what wouldn't hurt as bad. It's like, okay, we're gonna get rid of all that stuff, even Peacemaker, which would really suck because I really like that movie. I mean, you can maybe you can retroactively have it make sense, possibly. But if they could have it where, it's like the new timeline is the Batman, I think that could work. I wouldn't mind that. Let's see here. I agree about Rise. It was meh. It was meh. It would be stupid for them not to do sequel with Roberts and Batman. Also, I'm never familiar with the news sites. Comment or link to. This is from. I'm not sure. I already clicked out of the link. But in any case. Oh, let's see here. I'm tired at this point. Almost expect there to not be a MCU level DCU till years after the MCU's. Yeah, I'm very curious. The thing is that with DC, there's just no fucking excuse for them to have messed up so bad. There's no excuse. They should be on the same level, if not better than Marvel, because they could have looked at Marvel and gone like, oh shit, look at what they did. Let's take what they did, but let's not do some of the same mistakes that they made. Some of them, maybe when Marvel stumbled, which Marvel stumbled, of course, the MCU has stumbled, but they can be like, okay, let's avoid those pitfalls, if you will. Maybe also put our little spin on, but they fast-tracked everything. They fast-tracked everything because they wanted Avengers money, and they entrusted a specific filmmaker who had a very truncated view of these characters, or his view of these characters, and that's what happened. That's what happened. Oh, it's because you have a plan doesn't automatically mean that you, just because you have a plan doesn't automatically mean that what you want to do is good. Snyder had a plan, and how did that turn? Exactly. He had a plan. Yeah. Oh. Win Fox, pretty sure make another Batman film. Just wait for another script for it. Get greenlit. Mary's will do what Nolan did. Take his time. I hope so. And I was like, oh, good. I think they should scrap all the DC films in that production, build off the Batman. There you go. That's what I was saying. Batman was loosely based off of Scott Snyder's Batman Year Zero story. I didn't know that. I thought it was like its biggest inspiration was like, I guess it was. I thought it was like Long Halloween in Year One, but I could see that. I could see Year Zero. It definitely sets up, the ending is very Year Zero. Triller is absolutely not his fault. That script was trash. He could have wrote a better Batman movie. KC, good to see you. Yo, Chris, how's your day been? Good. We're talking about Batman. It was just dropped in my lap. Apparently, they didn't even greenlit Batman 2, which I'm like, what? What? I'll take Ben Affleck's Batman over Christian Bale. Bale's Batman voice is awful. Bale's Batman voice gets a little rough, but his Batman movies are still better. Even The Dark Knight Rises, which I don't even like, is still better than any of the other films that Ben Affleck has been in. That Ben Affleck's Batman has been in. But again, not Ben Affleck's fault. Not Ben Affleck's fault. Give Ben his pasta maker. A little Harley Quinn reference right there. No, sorry, Chris. I don't work tomorrow, but after 12-hour shift, meeting opposites. Oh no, get your sleep done. No problem at all. Have a nice rest. No problem at all. I'll be able to shoot to not Greenlit a Batman sequel after it made over $7 million. That's true. Agreed. So Triller says, I'm so worried because they were talking about a standalone Bane animated series. James Gunn never expressed interest in doing the show. A standalone Bane animated. Oh, like from Harley Quinn? Oh, that would have been fucking amazing. I wouldn't mind that at all. KCO, yesterday evening, Crunchyroll and Toei Animation had a special screening for the new Dragon Ball Superhero movie, such a dumb name, which released next week. It's safe to say I'm very excited for it and looking forward to what the film brings to the new Dragon Ball timeline. See, it's Toriyama's people are doing. I was excited for it. I was like, oh, Gohan gets his, I call it Gohan gets his groove back. That's what they should have called it. Dragon Ball Superhero. Not a great name, I must say. But I saw it, I was like, this animation's awful. I was like, why'd you do this? And they've been sneaking that animation in occasionally, into the Dragon Ball Super series, and they had a little bit of it in Dragon Ball Super Broly, which I actually really liked. But now all the movies, that animation, I'm like, I can't. I'm not gonna be able to watch it. The animation is it's throwing me off. I really, really dislike it. Really dislike it. Also, Marvel's deal with Universal MCA includes Disney is allowed to have Marvel superheroes at Disney World in Florida. They can only be exclusive to Universal Studios, Orlando. Hence, that's I know I'm in Avengers. Oh, look at that. I did not know that. Look at that. Look at that, Chad. Look at that. Imagine if John Peters was, unfortunately, DC's. That would be a fucking nightmare. Oh, my God. Thank God he's not. Thank God. Oh, Lord. Yeah. I know, those people are still crying over the story of the Snyder. They're mentally ill. The reason why they have these people, they're still crying about that is because they're not right in the head. They're sick people. Oh, it's like, just let it go. They're never going to let it go. It's just so bizarre. So much of their life is wrapped up into that. I'm like, I don't get it. Every waking moment is about that. It's like, why? It's like, okay, you like the guy's films, but it's like, why this thing, though? I just don't understand it. Oh, I would even say have a Batman universe and Superman universe instead of a larger DC universe what do you mean? I'm not sure what you mean. You mean like multiverse stuff? I'm sure they'll eventually do that. I guess they might do that. They are doing that with the Flash. We'll see. What the Batman universe work? Oh, my whole thing is with the Batman. It's like use the Batman as your foundation. That's what I'm talking about. And you branch off from that. Like the Batman is your first film in your new universe. Like that is now like forget the DCEU, forget the Snyderverse, forget whatever it was, whatever you want to call it. This is now starting with the Batman is your new DC cinematic universe because it has a foundation. You established one character and multiple supporting characters. It's like, okay, this is Gotham. And then you're like, oh, but in this same world, you have Superman, you have Greenlit, that's where you start with that. That's what they can do. And thankfully, unlike Man of Steel, the Batman is good. So that definitely helps. That definitely helps.